This is the demo test that I recorded to go along with my book, Rocket Surgery Made Easy. The main purpose of this demo is just to show you how simple I think usability testing can and should be. In most ways, this demo is exactly like the kind of tests I recommend you do on your own website. The main difference is that an actual test would have more tasks or longer tasks, so it would last about an hour instead of 20 minutes. You should know that I didn't choose the site used in this demo because it had a lot of problems. In fact, just the opposite. I like to use well-designed sites when I do demos because I think it's important for people to understand that even the best sites always have usability problems. At the end of the demo, I'm going to ask you to list the 3 most serious usability problems you noticed during the test. And then I'll give you my top 3 problems so you can compare your list to mine. So, hi, Melanie. My name is Steve. And I'm going to be walking you through this session today. Before we begin, I have some information for you, and I'm going to read it to make sure that I cover everything.
Okay.
You probably already have a good idea of why we asked you here, but let me go over it again briefly. We're asking people to try using a website that we're working on so we can see whether it works as intended. This session today should take about 20 minutes. The first thing I want to make clear right away is that we're testing the site, not you. You can't do anything wrong here. In fact, this is probably the one place today where you don't have to worry about making mistakes.
Good.
As you use the site, I'm going to ask you as much as possible to try to think out loud, to say what you're looking at and what you're trying to do and what you're thinking. This will be a big help to us. Also, please don't worry that you're going to hurt our feelings. We're doing this to improve the site, so we need to hear your honest reaction.
Okay.
If you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I may not be able to answer them right away since we're interested in how people do when they don't have someone sitting next to them to help. But if you still have any questions when we're done, I'll try to answer them then. And if you need to take a break at any point, just let me know. You may have noticed this microphone. With your permission, we're going to record what happens on the screen and our conversation.
That's fine.
Recordings are only going to be used to help us figure out how to improve the site and won't be seen by anyone except the people working on this project. And it helps me because I don't have to take as many notes. Also, there are a few people from the web design team observing this session in another room. They can't see us, they can just see the screen. If you would, I'm going to ask you to sign a simple permission form for us. It just says that we have your permission to record you and that the recording will only be seen by people working on the project. So if you want to read it, you can go ahead. Okay. What is today, the 16th?
17th.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
So, do you have any questions so far?
No.
No? Okay, good.
Ready to go.
Before we look at the site, I'm going to ask you just a few quick questions. First, what's your occupation? What do you do all day?
I am currently unemployed. I volunteer in a kindergarten class weekly. I was in healthcare for most of my adult life.
In healthcare?
In management, healthcare management.
Oh.
And chose to stay home when my son was 2, so it's been a long time.
Oh, okay. And what did you do in healthcare management?
I worked, I managed an admitting office in a hospital. I supervised a pediatric department and a derm department. Many different things.
Oh.
So
you worked
most
with,
people
with adults and
management.
kids, but it was pediatrics. So.
Yeah, and I brought up a computer system at one point.
Okay, great. And so now, and you're volunteering in this kindergarten?
Yes, I am.
And that's fun?
Fabulous.
Good.
Get hugs. Be a rock star. Go to kindergarten.
That sounds like a good
Yeah,
job.
it's good.
Okay. All right. Now, about the, roughly, how many hours a week altogether, just a ballpark estimate, would you say you spend using the internet, including both web browsing and email, and at work and at home? So all together in a week, ballpark figure.
So embarrassing.
No, it's never embarrassing. People spend a lot of time.
I'm going to guess 20 hours a week.
Okay. That's not outlandish at all.
That's not work related, though.
That's okay.
Play related. Okay.
Okay. And in that time, that 20 hours, what's the split between email and web browsing, would you say? A rough percentage? So like half and half, or what's
that? That was probably a high estimate. I would say it's half and half.
Okay. Web browsing. And when you're doing web browsing, what kinds of sites do you look at?
I'm shopping.
Shopping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly shopping.
Mostly shopping.
Or looking for information on big directions, maps, shopping, and I check on my crossword puzzle results.
Oh, which crossword puzzle?
The New York Times.
Okay. And when you're checking for directions, what sites
Google.
do you use? Google.
Google Maps.
Google Maps. Okay. And any favorite websites, either shopping websites or information websites or whatever, any that you particularly like or use a lot, even if you don't like them?
Not really.
No?
You know, I do gift shopping. I look at jewelry. I look at clothes. I look at whatever I need.
Okay.
You know,
So it's all different sites.
All different sites.
Okay. Do you have any sites you think of as a favorite, or that you find you enjoy? Or
Enjoy.
like more than others,
that's a good question. No, not really.
No?
Not
Okay.
really.
Okay. All right, great. Good. So we're done with the question part.
Okay.
And now we're going to start looking at things on the screen. So I'm going to bring up I'm going to lean in here, excuse me for a second, and bring up a website that we're going to look at. And then I'm going to move the microphone so that it's more in front of you than in front of me for now.
Okay.
I'll be doing most of the talking. And so first, I'm going to ask you to look at this page and tell me what you make of it. Basically, what strikes you about it, whose site you think it is, what you think you can do here, what you think this site is for. Just look around and do a little narrative. You can scroll if you want to. You have the mouse over there, but don't click on anything just yet. Just stay on this page. So just do a little
all
tour
right.
of
So
the
the
page
first
and
thing
tell
that
me
was,
what do you-
I know that it's for Zipcar.
Uh-huh.
I know what Zipcar is. That I can use this car. But what was initially confusing to me was
Yeah.
to see these bows on top of the cars, because then I thought I'm buying a car.
Oh, okay.
So that was a sort of a little confusing for a second.
Okay.
This tells me what different kinds of cars I can get, I guess. Mini
Which the
convertible
part at the top
Molly
there, which is the
organizes the annual block party. Find more cars near you. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
So I would click on that.
Okay,
I
don't
guess.
click on it just yet. Then.
Okay.
Okay, just stay here.
Learn about the simple steps to Zipcar freedom. Okay, so it tells me how to join. It tells me what to do, how to use it.
Okay.
How to join and how to use it.
Okay.
Zipcar for the iPhone. I have no idea what that means.
Okay.
Zipcar is, iPhone app. I don't know what that means, what that's about. Okay.
Okay. So what's your general feeling of what? So you know what Zipcar is, and you know this is their site, and you have some idea what they are, and what do you think kinds of things you would do on this site?
I guess I would learn how to get a car.
Okay.
I guess I would learn what cars are available to me.
Okay.
I don't know what that annual block party means. Yeah, and
Okay.
how to do it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I
great.
suspect they'll explain the iPhone app to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. No, it's good. Now I'm going to ask you to try doing some specific tasks. I'm going to read each one out loud and give you a printed copy. So here's your copy of the first one.
Thank you.
And again, as much as possible, to help us if you can try to think out loud
Okay.
as you go along. So you don't currently own a car, and you can get almost everywhere you need to go without one. You're about to sign up for a class that you can't get to using public transportation, and there are other times when it would be convenient to have a car. A friend has been very happy using Zipcar for occasional trips, so you decide to explore that option. To get to the class, you'd need a car one afternoon a week for about 3 hours to make a 50-mile round trip. You'd also like to have a car one Saturday a month to run errands all day. Figure out what this would cost you each month.
Okay.
Okay? So now you...
All right, so I want to know how much this is going to cost me. Down here I have 4 simple steps. Over on the right I have how it works. And up in the top bar I have Zipcar for me, how it works, find car, rates and plans.
Okay.
I'm going to hit rates and plans. And this is to check rates. Look for your city. I live in Boston. Zipcar cities. I'm going to hit Boston. Okay, so it tells me rates and plans. So if you're thinking about joining, this is my Boston personal driving plan. Very nice. Okay, so for an occasional driving plan, it's going to cost me, all right, so I want to know how much it's going to cost me each month. It's going to cost me $50 for an annual fee to start, and $25 for an application fee. then my daily rate, oh, weekend rate is different than daily rate. Okay. So weekday hourly rate is $7. And I need that for 3 hours. So 3 times 7 is 21. And then my one Saturday a month. One Saturday a month is, all right, so that's $79. So, oh, but, okay, so the 21 I have to multiply by 4, so that's $84. All right, so my first month is going to cost me...
Sorry, excuse me a sec. I have to get rid of this. Don't show that message again. Okay.
Okay.
Just a computer thing.
All right. 9, 18, 8, 16, 23. So my first month is going to cost me $238.
Okay.
And after the first month, I can subtract $75 because I've already paid my application fee and annual fee.
Okay.
So after that, it's going to cost me $163 a month. So the initial month is $238, and after that it's $163. It would be nice if they had a way for me to do that on there.
To do what?
To calculate right on the screen, rather than multiplying. But okay.
Okay. So what would that be like? You'd put in what you needed,
Yeah.
and it would do the
Yeah.
calculations for you. Okay.
Not a big deal, but okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah. So $238 the first month, and $163 every month after that.
Okay.